Okay, so let's move on to the next part, which is once we are at this chat view page and the user has basically is going to start doing a task, he will click on this start task button and it will open up a task. Now this part is a little bit cool. What it does is you can swipe different questions like this, and then there's a text box here. You can key in an answer, uh, and originally we were hoping that the user will do a Google and put an answer back in, but we realized that it's super difficult for users to do that on a mobile phone, and we needed a way to make it way easier for users to do it. So we created this feature called a get help. And what get help does is when it shows, it comes up with a screen like this which gives an answer to the question. Now there's this how to develop a discontinuous innovation strategy. Bang, such an approach helps to analyze risk and blah blah blah. May not always be the most accurate, as you can see over here. And this is the staging environment. So most of the questions are really lousy. But as we go into the production environment, I am getting researchers and teachers to help us to create questions that gets good answers. Now, in your mind, you might be wondering, how do I get the answers today, and how do we store it, and even how do we get the questions in the first place? So again, in this reference table, reference data place, which is in the company tab, what it does is we have this questions table, and you can see over here what are the advantages of innovation. Um, and there's innovation platform as a certain topic or keyword, and there's all these funky categories. The way that it works is this one of the most important things here is there's this thing called the roadmap and the skill. In this case, the skill, and you will see here that there's this innovation platform which was kind of not really used anywhere except for within these questions. Now this innovation platform is actually tied to this thing called skills, and these skills actually don't really do anything. It's just these innovation platforms over here. In fact, I don't even need all of these things. So we used to have these skills as a way to kind of like say to become artificial intelligence data scientist, you need to know 10 different skills like classification, image recognition, and then each one of them will have its own skill. Um, and we eventually might get there as well, whereby I might go, there might be 10 skills required to be an AI scientist, and as part of the 10, and for each skill there might be multiple stories, and that's probably where we're going to go. But at this point of time, we're not using it at that point. We were at a certain point hoping to use these skills uh, as if it was a story. So you can see some of these fields over here, like rewards, quota, and stuff. It's exactly the same as the story, but then we decided that we couldn't do it. It was actually one skill and many stories, so therefore we had to have these stories. So in order for the questions to work, the skill must be matching the question. So this is kind of like in the something that we built right from the beginning. So this is one of the key, most important things that we needed to make sure that it's there. And then the skill has a bunch of questions like this. Okay, so this is how the questions are derived. So you have the story, which has a skill, like in this case critical thinking, and then the skill is already there in the skills, and in the questions there is a critical thinking question. What does critical thinking mean? Now that's how the questions was derived just now. Now the next part is, how did the answer actually come out? Maybe I'll skip that screen. How did the answer actually come out? So on the right side of this, there's this thing called the preload. The preload, right now there's no, you can see is start as a start link, and there's no, what that means is that there's no answer that is preloaded. So I can click on this start button, and it will take a couple of seconds, like 5 seconds or more, and it will try and get an answer from Google Talk to Books. And sometimes it's like this, it's really slow, or it crashes quite often. What it does is it will go to Google Talk to Books, like this. And it will actually put the answer into Google Talk to Books and you will get out the answer. Quite cool, right? So what we wanted to do was to then kind of go to the point whereby we can say we got an answer from Google's books and they're all kind of like curated books. So Google did this AI to make sure that these books are all top quality, they are quality publishers and they're not dodgy stuff. So is it still loading? Because then maybe it's a bug. So it's probably a bug. It's not loading now. But you can see that there are a couple of other questions that's already loaded, and I'll show you how it looks like. So innovation platform has a couple of, here is already preloaded. So you can see that what's saved now, it looks like this. So we basically got the results from Google Talk to Books, but in this format. And what we do is then we take the second section like this as the answer, and we displayed it just now on the question screen, which you saw right from the beginning. So it's very important that every single question has the preload, so that the user has a way to get answers in a very easy way. And so this is one of the most important things for the questions. Without that, basically the student will not even want to use the app. So this is one of the most important or critical thing. And that is pretty much it. And once the user finishes all the questions on the app, then the system will just finish. So let me go through. Let me show that. Oh shit. Okay, so the task is started. I'm gonna get help. How can I be a better innovator? Spend time in their space. Right, perfect. 8 types of innovation. Okay. Approaches to develop a product innovation strategy. 4 product service strategies. Awesome. How to create an innovative business model. Design thinking approaches. Cool. How to spot opportunities for innovation. If you don't know what's going on, it's going to be innovative and success. You need exploration and deductive exercises. Cool. So I'm done with all 5. I'm going to save. And then I should get a pop-up. That is supposed to show. There is supposed to be a pop-up that says achievement received and you get 1 token. But this is a bug that has been there for a while. So this is supposed to be fixed. I'll have to check it out. So but this is pretty much how the answering of the question is supposed to be. There we go. Oh, that took way longer than I expected. And then you get this 1 token.